Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fraser Oliver Podcast, episode 22. Now, in this episode, we have Cookie. Hello, Cookie.
How's it going, mate? You're right.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So before we get into it, do you just want to do like an intro of yourself? Sort of, I know that's a question. It's probably, I'd hate to be asked that question, but yeah, do you want to sort of give an overview of what you do?
Okay, sure. So I don't know how to specify what I make. So I think at the minute I make wildlife videos on YouTube and sort of adventure videos and that sort of scene. In the past I've made this is the thing, right? Because my channel's so diverse, it's quite a bit of a mess. But in the past I've made like popular videos that have done well, but they don't fit the channel now. So like I did running for 30 days, 30 minutes a day for 30 days, and that's my like best food video.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that. But yeah, my channel's really diverse. It's mainly about me, but I'll go look for some animals or something like that every now and then.
Cool. So before we get into talking more about you and your channel and sort of everything Cookie, I have a question that I ask at the start of all my podcasts, just to sort of, break into what we're doing. So it's all about breakfast, because in my head, breakfast is like the greatest meal, right?
Yeah,
so
okay, yeah.
The question is, what did you have for breakfast? And I'm
What
aware
do
some
I have
people
for breakfast?
don't have breakfast. So what did you have today?
It was really boring today. I had 4 slices of toast.
Okay.
And 3 of them had butter with Vegemite. Didn't have the Marmite, so I was like Vegemite's all right, but it's not Marmite, you know.
Yeah,
and then the last one just butter. Last one was just butter.
Fair enough.
That was breakfast today.
But then that leads on to the next question of what is your ideal breakfast? Like if you could have anything for breakfast.
So there's a place near me that does an American breakfast, which is basically it's a full English, but with some pancakes on it as well.
Nice.
And it's great, like because it's like you basically get a breakfast with a pudding, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really good combination. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's so good. Like you get the whole full English, and then you get 2 pancakes knocked on top.
So you like the sort of pancakes with like sausage and bacon, because that's quite an like a weird thing here. Like in America, that's very normal, but.
I find it weird. I do find it weird, but so I've got my plate. I'll take those off. I'll leave them to the side. Take my maple syrup, go away, and then I'll eat that first, and then they come back on. And I've got my pudding. Like 2 courses. That's how I treat it.
So you don't like? So is that because you don't like the bacon with pancakes, or is it just you want to get 2? Well,
I don't like my sweet and savoury together. Like, I just think that's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, because like, the Americans, they have like bacon and maple syrup on them. I'm like, what are you doing?
But their bacon's weird because I've been to America. I've had it over there, and it's not
like concrete,
proper bacon. It's like rock solid. Like I like bacon. I like crispy bacon, right? But you need like a chisel to get through the bacon.
Honestly, it's like like the old. It just like the old. Sorry, like the old school rulers. It's like that, isn't it? Yeah. It's like you just slid that on. It's like
bacon. Like it's like disgusting. It's ridiculous.
Disgusting.
Because the problem with breakfast is people are like, oh, you want something that will like help your digestive system. You have no, look, let me have my full English and move on.
Yeah. That's the best one for me. That's the best one, definitely.
So something I'm very interested in when I have people on is talking about sort of like earlier life. Because obviously when like people that I have on, I've watched a certain amount of their life through YouTube, but I don't know like sort of how you like what you did at school, like college, did you go to uni, things like that. So what was school like for you? Was it
school? I wasn't the best student. So as I've got older, I've sort of mellowed out. Basically, if I was like if I was on social media, like as a public figure back in school, I'd have been cancelled by now. I'd have one of those old tweet sort of people. Like I'm gone. Like that would be me finished.
Right.
Because when I was in school, I wasn't a very nice person. I wasn't very well behaved. It was one of those things. It was like I always made it my goal of the day to be as much of a bellend as I could. And I wasn't a nice person. But it was the way I was brought up. I was brought up around someone who was it was not the nicest of people. And I idolized that person for a bit, and then as I got older, I was like, "This guy's a twat." Like, why? Then I sort of branched away from that, and I became my own person and sort of a nicer person to the world. So
I guess
school wasn't good.
I guess that sort of affected how, like, because obviously later on in school, where you're sort of looking at what career you want to do and sort of preparing for that, did that sort of affect that then? Because you were like, I don't need to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, so when it got to like GCSEs and stuff, like I picked my GCSEs and I just didn't do it. My attendance at the end of school was 80%. It was It was shocking. I just didn't go, like, for most of it.
What GCSEs was it that you picked then?
I did a BTEC sport.
Right.
I selected geography because one of the teachers was sound. I didn't get him as a teacher, so I was like, I'm not doing this. Then I was like, I'm going to do electronics, which I didn't do. Was there another one? There might have been another one, but I can't remember. But it was I got 8 GCSEs because I was one of these kids. Yeah, I was naturally clever for that level.
Right.
And then, like, as I've got through life, it's not really gone that way. But at that time, I was like naturally pretty intelligent at school. I didn't need to do a lot to sort of retain the information.
Yeah, so it's like you didn't almost need to sort of put as much sort of revision and stuff in because it stuck what you learned, I guess, in school anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. There's actually because I used to, my maths class, right? I was in quite a good grade for maths, but I used to get kicked out of the lesson all the time. So like this one teacher, he as soon as he saw me turn up to like the lesson, he'd be like, right, you're not coming in, you go somewhere else. And he put me in a sixth form class, right? And they were doing some like mad equations on the board. And I used to sit at the back of that class, taking that class in. So like my level of maths was actually like way ahead of what it's supposed to be, but I couldn't do the year 10, year 11 maths sort of thing.
Because you were doing like the sixth form one.
Yeah, but I could do the sixth form stuff, but I couldn't do the year 10 stuff. And I was like, it didn't help me, but it's because I was a knob, basically. I was just a knob, so no one wanted me in their class.
Yeah. So by college, had you sort of thought,
so
right, I need to get my head down sort of thing? Yeah,
pretty much. So I left, I wasn't allowed to do sixth form. They wouldn't have me back. So I had to go to college, and I did a BTEC sport again, level 3. So that was better because it was obviously less time like in the week. It was only like 3 days a week or something. So I got like chance to do other things with my life, and this was the point where I started to like break off from that person that wasn't a good role model on my life. So I started to like do different things, like change how like my life was going and stuff, and it was all right. I enjoyed college, to be fair. It wasn't bad. It was more relaxed than school. It was all right. I think
the good thing about college is that the people that are doing whatever subject you do want to be there. With school, you get people choosing certain GCSEs because they think it's going to be easy. But I guess college, people that have chosen that have done it for a reason. So
pretty much.
Did you have a career in mind then when you chose?
Nah, see, like this is the biggest thing because I've always enjoyed sport. I've always been good at sport, and I thought I'll just go that route. You know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So that was the route. And when I was in college, I was like, do you know what? I fancy a bit of radio. I didn't do it, but like at that time, I was like, because you know when like you're growing up, you just haven't got a clue. It was that for me, and I never sort of like had someone to say, oh, what about this or what about that? So I just sort of said, yeah, sport will do. Well, I'll be a football manager one day. And that was it. And I just went through college like thinking I was going to be some sort of like football manager, and that's coincidentally what I tried to do at university was sports coaching. And I hated that. I quit that very quickly.
Okay, how long did you stay at uni for then before you thought this is
6 weeks?
And what was it that made you quit? Was it the uni atmosphere, or was it the course specifically?
Yeah, it was a course. The course specifically, I was like, because I went with this like probably very naive mindset of this is going to be very sort of practical. Like we'll be out on the field doing all this stuff, and it wasn't that at all. It was like learning about the governing bodies, and I was like, I just don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And at that point as well, when you're like 19, I was sick of education because it's almost like force-fed education up until a certain age. And I got to that like 19, I thought, this just isn't it. This just, I'm sick of this. I just want to go and live my life. So it took 6 weeks and I thought, that's it, I'm done. And I didn't like the uni lifestyle as well. I'm quite an asocial person. So I had people knocking on my door every night, like, you coming out? And I was like, no, leave me alone. I'm playing GTA. And it was just, it just wasn't for me that. So now it'd be all right.
Yeah, so you leave uni after 6 weeks. So that must have been quite sort of, if you leave, you're like, well, that's because then it's like you're into the real world. Then it's like no one's even at uni, you've got some sort of like security, I guess, of I'm doing like something that's going to be productive. What was your first thoughts after leaving uni then? Was it like I'm in the real world now, it's me?
So you've probably got like a few weeks of like, oh, this is bliss, I'm free, I don't have to do anything, and then it sort of dawns on you like, oh, I've got to go do something. Like, I can't sit here and do nothing. And I had pressure from like my parents being like, you need to get a job. So Yeah, I went and got a job at Asda, and
Okay.
you know, started from the bottom of the pile, and it was a rubbish job. It was a rubbish job. I really didn't enjoy it. So yeah, I got a job at Asda from uni, and I was there for like a year or two or something like
And so you've quite nicely sort of segued into my next topic there,
that. Right.
which is all sort of around jobs. So sort of
Okay.
best and worst jobs you've had, like
Oh
what
no.
any jobs you've regretted, like any job. Because
Yeah.
I've had a few jobs where I did like a trial shift. I was like, I am not having this, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm off. Sorry, that I'm
Yeah,
not
I've
doing
had that
this.
as well. Yeah.
So what would you say is the best job to date that you've gone?
The best job I've had is what I've got right now. I'm a swimming teacher.
Oh, nice.
So it's a very rewarding job. Obviously seeing the progression of like well, I teach kids and adults how to swim basically. So seeing the kids that like can't even get into the water, then sort of turn into these kids that like have got really nice swimming stroke and stuff. That's really rewarding. And just coaching and teaching in general is a nice thing to do. So that's definitely the best job I've had, and it's what I've got right now.
And I guess that's using what you did sort of GCSE's college, the sports. Yeah. So that's so I guess that's quite nice as well to think what I did there has helped sort of. It's quite easy to think this isn't going to help. Like, why am I doing this? But now it's like, it has helped. I'm doing.
It's definitely it definitely did me favors. Now I look back on it, 100%. But like every other job I've had up until this point has been shocking. It's been like your typical minimum wage sort of job. So I started at Asda. I was there for like 2 years or something, and then had a photo thing. So it was like photo printing. But it was I basically didn't do anything. It was nothing. But that was rubbish as well. And then I went and I worked at the cinema for a little bit. I did Deliveroo for a little bit, which was all right actually. When it was in the summer, it was pretty good. It's a pretty good job. But it's all changed now, so I've heard it's rubbish. But anyway, it was all right for me back then.
Yeah, are you leaving it? So yeah, for me, like working in a supermarket, in my head's like my idea of hell, pretty much. I like being able to move around, like do stuff. And I suppose if you're like sat out, like, well, what's it like the reality of it? Is it as rubbish as it sort of?
Yeah, because I suppose I feel like if you're young, right? If you're like 16 to 20 or something like that, or 16 to 19, it might be all right. It might get you through like uni or something like that. If you want to like a little job at this weekend or whatever, then in that sort of sense, it'll be all right. But if how I was back then, just like it was just work. It was honestly, I felt myself losing brain cells. It was just, it's more for the people you're working with. Obviously, you're stacking shelves. That's very boring, tedious work. There's no challenge to it. And the people you work with or for, I mean, I suppose you can get lucky and it'll be like sound people, but generally, if it's a big superstore, there's always going to be a load of assholes. So that's what I had, and it wasn't a fun place to be. Working for a load of dickheads.
And I guess it's one of those jobs where it's like near enough the same thing every day, and there's no honestly, you're just doing the same thing. You get into like a routine of like muscle memory almost of just like
pretty much,
and your mind just starts.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, it's so dull. I've got a fly flying around in front of my face. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's so annoying. But yeah, like it's honestly, it's the dullest thing. I hated it. I will never go back. I will never ever work in that environment ever again. But like some people can enjoy it, and that's absolutely fair play. But for me, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like you said, it's good for like a first job or like trying to.
I suppose as well for like elder people, like if they retire and they want like an easy job to sort of go and have a social crack, like that's a big thing for people just to keep ticking over. So I think like at the front and the back, that's like
it's a good job.
It's an all right.
It's not like somewhere you want to be for your entire life, I guess.
No way, not for me.
My mum said that because she's a teacher and she's like when I retire, I think I will just go get a job somewhere like a supermarket just because why not? Because she's never done a job like that, so she's like, I want to work with like general public.
So did she do it?
No, she's like 20 years maybe away, 10 years.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
And she's like, she really wants to do it, just as like it'd be something to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Can you see this?
Can you see it? Yeah, it's so annoying. Why is it here?
Every now and then,
why is it mugging me off right now? Knob. I see that. I'm looking for it now. It's gone. I guarantee when you ask me a question again, it'll fly in front of me. But there it is. There it is. Come here. Oh, I actually touched it then.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, go on. Let's just carry on. I'll try.
Okay, cool. So yeah, because jobs wise for me, I've only had like I had one job. My first job was working at like is where I work now. There's a funny story there. It basically it's like a farm, but also like a kids sort of adventure park thing.
Okay.
So there's like little like we've got like little boats kids can go in. There's like rowing boats people can use, things like that. But it's also like a working farm. It's really nice because I get every day's different. You're doing like different stuff every day. And I worked there for a couple of years after school. And then I got like inadvertently sacked from that, basically, because I was on 2-hour contract. They just like gave me less and less hours until I wasn't working. And then 3 months later, I got a letter saying you're sacked. I was like, all right, okay, cool. And then I got a job working at a pub that's like 2 minutes away from me. And that was okay because I was just doing like pot washing, which is okay because they were like, you can have music on if you want. And it was all right. And then I left that after the first lockdown. And now I'm back at the adventure park, which is
okay.
Because they were like, we've got a new manager, email in. So I was like, you know what, I will. And I was like, I don't need any training, I can go do it straight away.
Yeah.
And he was like,
happy days then.
Yeah,
happy
so
days.
but I can tell you what one of the worst jobs I had was, but it wasn't even like a job. It was basically, I think it was called like a graveler, which was like, I basically used to go to like driveways and where like people would drive onto their driveways, if it was gravel, it would push all the gravel to the side.
Yeah.
So I'd literally go like along with my granddad and just like shovel that gravel back onto the driveway.
Oh, right.
Genuinely one of the worst things because it just
Really?
get into your shoes and you get so dusty. It's like genuinely one of the worst things I've ever had to do.
No,
and
fair
I was
enough.
getting like odd, you know what you do jobs for like grandparents and they're like, oh, we'll give you like a couple quid for it. I was like, I'm not having this anymore. I was like, look, there's no way.
Yeah, no, fair play.
So people watching this are probably going to know you from, well, they will know you from YouTube. If they know you from somewhere else, you know what? That's fair enough.
They'll be very weirded out. Yeah.
So something I always like to ask people that come on and have done YouTube or do YouTube is sort of inspiration. Like, was there any particular YouTubers you watched, or was there anything that happened in your life? I thought I want to film this one thing, and then it spiraled. Like, what was the thought behind sort of starting it for you?
So I started. I think this is like not many people know this, but I started YouTube when I was in school. So, but like it's been on and off since then. So I started first when Call of Duty 4 was a thing,
right?
And there was a geezer called Zergriz or Zizagriz. It depends how you say his name. And I saw him doing like Call of Duty montages. I was like, that's sick. I want to do that. So I got myself a little crappy capture card and started recording my gameplay and sort of made montages and whatever. And then because I was like 14 or something, or 15, and my dad he kicked me off and he was like, "You're not doing this. Like, you need an education and all that sort of stuff." So like he kicked me off.
I guess that wasn't face cam or speaking or anything. It was just the gameplay.
It was speaking. It was speaking.
Okay.
So it wasn't face cam, but it was gameplay. So it was like a montage. You basically like making a little like music video of Call of Duty clips, and then in some of them it would just be like a gameplay, and I'll just be like with a microphone like. And here I am today playing Call of Duty. Like that was
like very old school sort of YouTube.
Very old school. Like honestly, it must have been like 2007 or 2008 when I started doing that. It was probably a bit after that. No, it was that because that's when Call of Duty 4 came out. So it was like it was a long time ago when I first started. And then my dad he kicked me off and I stopped doing it until I was about 23, 22. And obviously I've got adult money, I've got adult like responsibilities and life and whatever. So I decided, do you know what? I'm gonna have another go at this because I enjoy it. It's something I want to do. So I set up this this is not the channel I'm on now, but it's my now second channel to make like FIFA videos and stuff. It was gaming related. Had a face cam. I built up a little audience there, which was pretty cool. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'm sick of this. Like I don't like making the gameplay stuff anymore. I'd rather just stream it. So I stopped that, and I actually went out to Australia and New Zealand with my girlfriend, and I was on a 12-hour bus next to some smelly French woman who kept nudging me, and I was just sat there thinking like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to make proper videos like want to make proper content and all that sort of stuff. So I had made a channel while I was out there, and that's the channel I'm on now. And I started to try and be a like a commentary channel, and that just wasn't for me. So then I moved over to like more more adventure-based stuff, more like this is what's happening sort of thing, rather than slagging people off. But like as far as like inspirations go, people, I suppose, like Jackmate was an inspiration when I first started. Who else have I got? I'm gonna have to look at my YouTube subscriptions.
That's fine.
Like the names are airing me right now, but Jackmate was definitely one. I think go on.
I think that's a big problem when people start YouTube is they sort of do, because the like advice that everyone gets is do content that you'd want to watch. But I think people take that as like, if I like this content, I can make that. And it's like, you have to find like what you enjoy and what you are good at making and sort of
no, definitely. Like that's a big thing. And I think I always say this, but I can't remember where I saw it. It was definitely like one of the Sidemen or something, I think. And they said like, just make stuff that you're interested in and people will follow. Like that's it. Like that's all you need to do.
People.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the biggest things I saw. KSI is probably another inspiration as well. Yeah, I've watched him from when he had like less than 10k subscribers.
Oh wow.
So I'm OG with KSI. I'm just flicking through my list now, but like I can't really see any of the old ones. But I think it's probably those two. And I thought, I can do this. I'm gonna like slag people off on it.
Yeah, I think especially with the gameplay with KSI, because obviously he was the very old school like FIFA, and that was obviously his thing, wasn't it? So
like the horror videos and all that. Oh yeah, he was really good back then, man. I mean, I still like him now, but to see his progression's been pretty mad. But I suppose as far as inspirations for me, it's KSI and Jackmate. That's when I first started, and as I've like progressed, there's a few different ones that sort of come into play, like True Geordie, YBS Youngbloods. I don't know if you'll know them.
No, I don't, I'm afraid.
So that's a geezer in Australia who does like he lives on the coast and he just sort of travels around in his boat and that with his dog. It's great. And very recently, actually, Bold and Bankrupt. I don't know if you know that guy.
I've heard of him.
He's really good. Really good.
Come up my recommended a couple of times.
Now I'm not surprised, like, because all he does, is like he's got some little camera and he walks about these dodgy places, just has a chat with people, but that's it. That's all he does, and it's like it's so interesting because I think he like exudes confidence, and he goes to like Chernobyl, for example. He will start speaking. I don't know what the language is, but he speaks to them in their like native language, and they love him. So he's really interesting to watch. There's a few now like I take inspiration from, and I think I want to do stuff like that. Like Casey Neistat is definitely one. Peter McKinnon. Those they always crop up, I suppose.
So I think that's the thing as well, is people take like, at least I have taken like little bits from like so many different people that I've gone, that's cool, I'm going to start using that in mine, or that method of filming, that software, like, and it's so easy for people to be like, oh, you've copied that person, and it's like I haven't.
It's inspiration.
It's like
you take the inspiration from it.
I haven't copied it. I've gone, that's a great technique, that's a great style of this, that, the other, and I'm going to roll with that and use it.
100%. Max Fosh is another one that I watch him and I think, I wish I was like that. I wish I had that charismatic behavior. Like, I just wish I had that about me. You know? Like I love that.
Like his old street smart stuff, I could not do that. There's no way I could do that.
It's so good, but it's how quick-witted he is and sort of confident in his speech.
He's just so charismatic.
I can't do that, but I watch that in awe. I'm like, so good.
So good. So along that sort of same vein, ideas with YouTubers, I think one of the biggest problems for people, like I've asked quite a few people, like, what's the like biggest struggle with YouTube? And most people are like, coming up with ideas. Is that something you've struggled with?
It depends really, because I'll go through phases where I'm exploding with ideas, and like I'll have like 20 ideas pop to me in a day, and I'm like, yes, that's it, write them down. And then I'll go like 3 weeks without, just like a writer's block, creative block sort of thing, and I just can't seem to think of anything to do. And those ideas that I had previously, I was start thinking about, I'm like, oh no, like, should I actually do that? I think everyone struggles with that at some point or another. It's definitely difficult to sort of try and like stay creative all the time. I think if you try and force it, it doesn't really come through naturally. So I think like it's one of those things where if you relax and you sort of like living comfortably, you'll have a creative like spurt. But I think if you force it, it's very difficult to stay like that.
I have like I've had this idea for ages that I've wanted to do, but every time I go to film it, I'm like, it's not going to work. There's no point. And I'm like, I just need to do it. Like, I just need to do it. And the idea, it would be like a mini series. So I'm like, once that first episode's on my channel, I can't then not do it because it's like, well, it's out there now.
Well, there's no reason not to really. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, people might not view it as much as your other videos, but like at the end of the day, like, does that matter? No.
I'll tell you what, that's one of the most disheartening things, though, isn't it? When you spend like ages on a video, you think like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever done. Yeah. And it's like 5 out of 10. You're like, well,
no,
you know
I know that all too well. Because like I can make a very quick video and it will do if it's trending and it's sort of like it hits the right thing at the right time, it will do good views. But if I spend, I've got a series called Animal Anomalies, and if I spend I spend a lot of time making that stuff, a lot of money goes into it, and I don't see a return, right? But especially financially, I don't see a return. But like views wise, it's always lower than what I'd want it to be, and it is really disheartening. But at the same time, it's like I love making it, so it's just
I'm proud of it. So it's like
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
Because I think that's the other thing is when I struggle for it, because I try to. Well, I say I try to. I've stuck to an upload schedule this year so far, and it's that thing of like forcing ideas. Like if I'm struggling for a video, I'm like, oh, we'll do a tier list, or it's like, you know what, get a mukbang out there. That's like easy content. We could do that, and it'll be. But it's like I think that is like it's good to have an upload schedule, obviously, because it keeps sort of your content flowing. But then it's like it's also bad because it forces content. Is that something you do where you force yourself to film? You're like, I haven't done a video in a week. I need to do a video.
Yeah, I did.
Force yourself.
I was trying to go for 2 videos a week, and I tried to do that for the whole year, right? But my camera, which is I finally got it back yesterday. This died. It's a Canon 70D.
Oh, nice.
It died on April the 11th, right? And I was up until that point, I was like 2 videos a week, smashing it. I'm really happy with how I'm going. At some point, it will escalate and whatever. Camera died. I was like, great.
Yeah.
So I sent it to the shop and they said, yeah, we'll try and fix it. It'll cost you money if it fixes. If you can't fix it, it won't cost you any money. It took like I got it back yesterday. So what's it, 3rd of June, and I sent it on the April 11th.
Wow.
So like that completely ruined my my upload schedule. But I suppose like trying to force yourself to be creative is difficult. So like when I was doing 2 videos a week, I'd get to like my uploads would be Monday and Thursday. I'd get to Sunday night, I'd be like, I haven't filmed anything. What can I do? And I'd try and like cram in a video before I had to upload it on Monday.
Right.
So that is difficult, and maybe I set the bar too high or something, or maybe I pushed myself too hard. So maybe like tuning it back, because I always think like quality over quantity is the main thing. But you'll have other people say like, just put up a video up because people will watch it. It's like, will they?
Yeah, I think. And even if people watch, like, you could do a video that gets like great views because it's like it's a reaction to something that's trending or something like that, but you won't get any subscribers from it. So it's like, it's got like you might do, but views, dead. But but you haven't, or people haven't watched it for long. You've got like 30 seconds average watch time. You're like, well, it's like views isn't everything. Like there's so many other analytics in a video that you need to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a strong factor of like the video, but like I think subscribers is the worst one, right? Because like if you do have a video that sort of does really well and you get a load of subscribers for that, you could end up having a load of dead subscribers. And I don't mean like people have just literally gone dead. But I mean like they don't watch your channel.
They subscribe for that specific thing. You never do it again.
Exactly, and that's my biggest problem. Is I've got like 4 or 5 different factions that have all subscribed for those specific reasons, all come together, nothing.
Something that I've tried to start doing with YouTube is like brainstorming ideas. So like actually sitting down with like either my phone or a bit of paper and go, I need to come up with ideas. Let's just brainstorm, write things down and see what I can come up with. Is that the same with Mewtwo, or is that U2, or is that
Mewtwo?
Like Mewtwo?
Big up Pokemon.
Or is that like
so I'll just be chatting with mates or my girlfriend or whatever, and we'll just we'll think of something on the spot. And brainstorming, yes, sort of. I have myself before like put some like pen to paper and just sort of like try to do it that way, but it doesn't really fit with me. So I'll go to a pub with my girlfriend or something, and we'll just be sat there like chatting and stuff, while at the same time trying to, if we pick up on something, be like, oh, we can make that a video. So one recently was about a pizza vending machine in Bristol, which I haven't filmed yet, but I want to go film. But we found out about this, and I was like, that would be a stupid video we could do.
Yeah.
Like, we could just go to Bristol and eat a pizza from a vending machine. Like, cause it's like the only one in England or something. So I was like, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That's a video.
Yeah.
But like, that came to us because we were just like flicking through like in a pub. We're just flicking through BBC News, and we saw that. We're like, yep, that's it. There's one. So yeah, we do that. I do it that way. I don't like to do the pen and paper, because I think like on my own it doesn't sort of work.
See, my family make fun of it now. I'm like, anything will come up, and I'm like, potential content. Like, my brother was like, do you want to go to Alton Towers for the weekend? I was like, yes, content.
I'll vlog it.
I was like, perfect, you've got a vlog.
Yeah.
So it's just like my mind immediately now. Someone will say something, I'm like, can I film that? Yes, I can.
Yeah,
perfect.
I know what you're saying. I get this a lot, right? Because like, people know me as like a filmmaker, sort of YouTube person, and like that, it doesn't matter what it is, they'll be like, oh, you could come and film it. Oh, you can make a video on this, and I'm like, oh, just leave me alone. Like, that sort of thing annoys me. Like, I know they mean it like really nicely and stuff, but it's like, it'll be something so mundane. It'll be like going to the shops. Oh, you can vlog this.
Yeah, that I don't understand. I'm like, can I?
Yeah, no.
So we need to get some bread and milk to Mazda. That's not content.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
So something that sort of happened, at least for me, because of YouTube, is streaming. And I know you stream as well. What was that sort of for you? Where did that come from? Because I know for me it was John who did a charity stream, you know, being the philanthropist that he is. And he then went over to Twitch. So I thought, give it a go. Is that like what made you go, I'm going to start Twitch?
When I had my other channel, which was making the gaming content on, I had this series called the Coventry Comeback, and it was like a FIFA series on the career mode and whatever. And as I was doing that, it was I was like, oh, we can do a live stream, sort of like to help out and whatever. What did I tell you about coming in? Dickhead. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you say, they always want their airtime. You knob. Anyway, I don't know what to say. But anyway, she gave me a smoothie.
Nice.
But that was obviously vital. That needed to happen right now. You know, I said beforehand, I was like, don't come in. Just don't come in.
Yeah, it's vital stuff. At least you've got a smoothie now.
It's healthy.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's right, mate. Yeah,
at least it's good.
Oh, the berries and
that. Nice.
Honestly, they love it. As much. So I still live at home, right? I don't want to. I just want to put that out there. I don't want to. I'm 26. I don't want to be here. Pandemic and that. But they hate being in videos. So they say. They tell me, like, oh, we don't like being in videos. Don't put us in a video. I'll say, I'm recording, I'm streaming, I'm podcasting. Don't come in. And they will do anything to get in here. And it's like,
you see, I tell my family, and I've got a sign made up now that says like streaming on one side and recording on the other. So like, if it's recording, you have to come in, do it, because I can cut it out. If it's streaming,
fuck off.
Do not, unless it's an absolute. If the house is on fire, come in. Otherwise, wait.
Literally, honestly, like, it's just. I'll say this. I need to get a sign for the door. I'm going to do that. It stresses me right out, because I say like, just don't, and they just
categorically do not come in this room. They're like,
literally,
you know what?
Well, I need this movie, did I? I needed this right now. Apparently.
Well, I mean, you know what? It's a nice smoothie. By the looks of it.
It is all right. It is all right.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Twitch. That's what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, streaming. So I was doing the Coventry Comeback football, like it was FIFA career mode and whatever. And I thought, oh, let's live stream a few games over on Twitch. We can like do the Coventry Comeback live, blah blah blah. So I did that. And it was all right. I had an audience come over from my YouTube, so it's like I had people chatting, and it was a good laugh. And then I spiraled it. So I think one of the times I was just like, right, I'm gonna drink on this stream, like alcohol and whatever, and I'm gonna put like donation limit, like targets and stuff. Like if you it was. So if you donate £1, I'll do a shot of vodka. If you donate this, I'll do a shot of that. And that's how it went. And like made a nice little bit of money, but like at the end of the day, I was steaming. It was not good. It's not good.
I've done that before. Where it's been like I used to stream like right after Robbie on a Friday.
Yeah.
So people that sort of we used to do like the after party of it, and obviously if it was like a a final on Robbie's stream, like everyone would be drinking, and obviously I'd be drinking, so I'd be on there. And I did one for my birthday, and I was like, I was drinking, but I was like, I'm not putting targets on there because I know it will be, I'm going to regret it. And then someone who's quite prevalent in sort of Robbie, John, and my streams is Rue, and he was like, if I gift a sub, will you do a shot? So I was like, you know what, fine, like that's fine.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that, because then everyone was gifting subs, and I was like,
bless
I
you,
mean,
man.
thanks for the subs, but I had so much that like
it's a good way of doing it, man. It's almost
it
like
works. People love seeing you suffer.
Yeah, it's the man's way of being able to whore themselves out, you know? Like it's I can't get my titties out. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to see that. So
but
I've got to start drinking, innit?
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Yeah, you know. I don't actually drink anymore though, but like if I did, I'd still be doing those streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a thing for me anymore. But it was good fun at the time. I do remember it was a good laugh.
Yeah, it's all right, but then it's like you watch the stream back, it's like what was that? That was
I remember doing it and I was just like, this is a shambles. Why were people watching this? But it's I
ate butter. There's so much. The clips are still up.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, if I give 5 subs, you eat a thing of butter. By this, I was like 4 vodka and Cokes. I was like, yeah, well, why not?
That's grim.
Actual. Yeah, it was. It's as bad as you think it is. It is bad as you think it is.
Yeah, I'm toast. I mean, it's all right, but like that's just another butter.
Yeah, I think the clip is still there. That's the other thing. Actually, my Twitch clips could they look outrageous, like out of context. Some of them are like. The worst, like my worst thing is like, what if I go for a job interview? They're like, "What you gonna look? Oh, you do Twitch? Let's have a look at some of your clips." There's a clip of me telling a poor kid asked me for money on Skyrim to piss off. I'm like, it's like, it's not gonna look great, is it?
Not a good look.
No, it's definitely not. So I don't see this podcast as having like segments to it, but there is like nearest the end, I do a segment called hypothetical questions, which, to be fair, Happy Hour did for a while, but they don't do it anymore. Therefore, I'm taking it.
Take it over, yeah.
Exactly. So we've got one hypothetical question here. So if you could go forward or backwards in time, you can only do one of them. Which one would you choose? Backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Where? Like what specific time would you want to go to? Is there like an event in mind? You're like, I'd love to go and see this. Or is it just like a time period?
I want to go see a Tasmanian tiger.
Okay.
So let's say
take your camera.
I'm gonna say like 1600s before the white man infiltrated Australia. Okay. So like 1650 or something like that, 1700, so around that time there. And I'd like to go and see a Tasmanian tiger.
That's
I think
cool.
That'd be lovely.
No, that's really cool. See, I think if you say future, you're a bit like it wouldn't be as fun. Like,
yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, like because you don't know anything about the future. It could be terrible.
Well, I mean, you could be dead.
Yeah, the planet could just the planet might not be here in like 100 years. There you go to the future. What's the point? Like,
my logic was really flawed then. I just thought, of course you're going to be alive because you're going to. Sorry, my logic was so stupid.
It's like, oh yeah, you go to the future. Yeah, but why? It might be terrible. Yeah. At least you could pick where you go back in time. You know wherever you choose, you will know what to expect from that time. Like,
I think the big thing for me on this question, right, is in the future there are going to be more houses. There's going to be more infrastructure. There's going to be more buildings, right? In the past, there's less of all that.
Yeah,
and it's probably wooden. Yeah. So like for me, it's definitely the past. That's where I'd want to go. I want to see the greenery. Actually, I was speaking when I was filming Animal Anomalies 5. I was speaking to a woman, and she was really sweet, bless her. And she was saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my generation's ruined it for you. You will never get to see the things that I saw and stuff." And like, I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Actually.
You're right.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah.
I hate you." But no, like it was. She was sweet, and I just thought like. They had a really good like a time of like coming up in like not around the World War, but maybe after that and stuff. Where if they could travel, they got to see some really spectacular things, which we don't really get now. Because we've sort of dominated everything. It's still going to go that way, so it's quite bleak.
You see, my answer is like being sat in like a cottage in the countryside, like on a farm, like. It just is like the idea of it. It's just so snug. It's like imagine just being like sat in front of a fire, cottage, like no other houses for like it was like that for me is like I'd love that, but you can't really do that anymore because even if you go to like Cornwall is all dominated like holiday parks anyway.
Yeah.
So like, you can't really go anywhere where it's just going to be you and.
You could probably find it in like Alaska or something, but you'll be well
even
out
then,
of the
they're
way.
probably tourist. Like it's probably like you have to
Yeah,
pay
maybe
for the
you never
privilege,
know.
wouldn't you? Like,
Maybe Australia's got something, but that's hot all year round.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
depends if you want it cold. You got to go like Canada or Alaska.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Canada. Actually, my granddad's been there so many times because it's
really?
one of his relatives. They got loads of huskies. So I'd love it. I'd love it.
It's on my list.
Yeah, so that's pretty much rounding up the podcast. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or?
No, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Good.
I've
so,
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've got something to say though before we end up. So this hasn't been what you'd call like a normal podcast. So I've had sort of a secret mission set by John.
Oh.
So when I did Robbie's podcast, I was in John's stream before that, and he said, "Let me give you some words you've got to sneak in."
Okay.
And he's done the same for this podcast.
Right.
So were there any words that I said where you were a bit like, what? Well, what's
no,
so
not at all. Mewtwo, maybe Mewtwo actually.
Yeah, Mewtwo was one of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I getting that in? He was like, just like mess up saying Mewtwo. I was like, you know what? Fair enough.
Hey, no, that's good actually. That was good.
Like, I don't even know Pokemon that well.
So I was like,
how
do you know
am I?
What? Now you're saying it. When I said, "Oh yeah, big up Pokemon," you didn't respond. I was like, "Does my man not know Pokemon?"
Yeah, because we're gonna. Yeah, I have no idea. So he was like Mewtwo, and there was another one, Graveler. I was like, "Who's Graveler?" No idea. So I said, "My job." I didn't do that.
When you were saying that, I was trying to work it out. I was like, "That doesn't sound like a job." I was like, but I wasn't going to say it because I was rude.
Yeah,
but
no, it's absolutely not a job. So there was those two. There was philanthropy or philanthropist.
I laughed.
How am I getting that in?
Yeah.
So I said that. What else was there?
Hey, you're doing really well doing this, though. Say again.
I had to get mukbanging. So I said about I did struggling for ideas like doing a tier list or a mukbang. I got that.
Yeah.
Snug was another one. So I said going back in time. And what was the last one? Digestive. So I said about digestive system at breakfast because he was eating chocolate digestives.
The only one I like properly picked up on was a bit weird. Was Mewtwo, yeah. And Graveler, because I was trying to work out if that was a job or not.
Because I was like, if I knew Pokemon, I was like, I could sneak. We'll talk about Pokemon for a bit. But I was like, I do not know Pokemon, so there's no way I could have spoken about it.
Yeah, no, fair play. You got them in really well. I didn't pick up on any of the others, definitely. I mean, Graveler, I was like, is that a job? But Mewtwo, I sort of was like, but I would never have guessed. John was like behind all of that.
Yeah, so see, John will have loved that because he didn't give me easy words, mind. It took me about an hour to figure out how to spell philanthropy. So I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it actually means.
I mean, you use it in good context. Yeah, that's why I didn't pick up on it.
I was like, I need to like Google this. I was like, I need to make sure I know. It took me about an hour. I literally put in the chat. I was like, what? How do you spell this word? It's
well done.
What? Like,
yeah. It's a good one. It fit in really well with what he does. So. Yeah, well done on that one. You did really good job.
He'll take that as well. He loved being called a philanthropist. Put that in his bio.
High praise. Clip that up.
Clip that up. Yeah, so that's the podcast done. Thank you for coming on, Cookie.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. I'll link your channel in a card up there, whichever one it is, and in the description so people can go and check you out. So thank you everyone for watching or listening. I haven't put like the past 10 episodes on Spotify and I feel so bad. So I know there's people that only listen to them and I haven't put any of them on.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, you should probably get on that.
Yeah, I should probably do that. There's like 5 episodes I haven't put on. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, there's a dislike button. You can use that if you want. But as I always say on the podcast, if you dislike this video, that's not only rude to me, it's rude to Cookie as well.
That's bang out of order, to be honest.
It's just unacceptable. But if you feel you have to, go for it. Comment any guests you want me to try and get on, or DM me on Instagram if you don't want to comment. Comment would help interaction there. So, I mean, comments be preferred. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you on Wednesday. I love Fraser. We love Fraser. Fraser.